All right, so in our Chapter 6 handout, problem number 3, we're given some information and we need to solve for the variables. So we need to think back to our multi-step income statement and determine how we can solve for each of these variables. So in my first company, Taylor, I'm given my sales revenue and my gross profit, and I've got to figure out my cost of goods sold. If I think back to my multi-step income statement, I know that my sales revenue minus my cost of goods sold, COGS, gets me to my gross profit. And so we have sales revenue of $18,000. Our variable or our unknown is cost of goods sold, and we have gross profit of $8,000. Well, that tells me that $18,000 minus my $8,000 will get me to my cost of goods sold, right? So in this example, for A, I've got cost of goods sold of $10,000, right? $18,000 minus $10,000 gives me gross profit of $8,000. Okay, let's move on to B. Solving for B. Let's see, we're given our sales revenue for Billy and cost of goods sold, and we need to solve for gross profit. Well, we can follow the format we used in A. Determine our gross profit. Let's see, we got sales revenue of $20,000, and we have cost of goods sold of $11,000. Sorry about that, $11,000. So $20,000 minus my cost of goods sold gets me to gross profit of $9,000. $20,000 minus $11,000 gives me $9,000. All right, moving on to C, Company Ed. We're given our sales revenue, cost of goods sold, gross profit, and our net income, and we have to solve for our operating expenses. Well, thinking back to that multi-step income statement, we know that our gross profit minus our operating expenses gets us to our income before taxes. And in this example, we're not given our tax expense number, so our gross profit minus our operating expenses will get us to our net income. Okay, so I'm going to start at the first level, that gross profit level, and we have gross profit of $4,000. And then our operating expenses, that's what we're solving for. Okay, so that's my X in this case. And then I've got overall net income of $1,500. Okay, so to solve for my operating expenses, I've got to solve for X. And so 4,000 minus 1,500 is going to back me into what my operating expenses are. In this case, it is 2,500. 4,000 minus 2,500 gives me net income of 1,500. All right, so using that same logic, we can then solve for our variable in Katie Company. We're solving for our net income, right? Okay, so in D, we've got our gross profit of 10,000. And we have our operating expenses of 6,500. So from there, I can solve for my net income, just subtracting our 10,000 minus our 6,500 gives me net income of $3,500.